Hey guys, welcome to Dummy's Guide to Crafting. First we're going to do our first video here. It's going to be about the Cricut Craftroom that's available at www.provocraft.com. It's a really good program if you're using a Cricut or any Provo Craft product that they've got. Cricut, Cricut Mini, Cricut Imagine, the Cricut Cake, any of those, all of them will work with this software. It's actually an online software, so you will have to download and be connected to the internet to use it, but it's free, which is a plus. This is the welcome screen that you're going to see once you have it loaded. Now I'm saved in, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. Once we're logged in here, it may take a moment here. You're going to see it's got my Cricut Craftroom projects. On the right hand side it's got featured projects. Those change periodically. Every time they come out with something new or something exciting that is available, they put that over there for you for some instructions and materials that you may need, and give you some great ideas in case you're just not sure really what you want to create today. Now I'm going to kind of walk you through the basic things here. This is the first page you're going to come to, my Cricut Craftroom projects. Now once you've downloaded this and created a couple, you'll have these over here. These will be your saved projects. Down at the bottom you can import and export, and then of course create new. And then there's also an open button as well. So we're going to create a new. This is going to pop up here. It's going to say start a new project. And we're going to be working on some vinyl letters today. I'm actually going to be working on a wash tub with some big initials on it. So now I actually own a Cricut Imagine, and that's what I use most of the time. I also have a Cricut Cake, and then I also have a Cricut Mini. So I've got a little bit of everything. I love my Cricut Imagine. Not only does it let me Cricut or cut with any Cricut cartridge, it also prints, which is really a great feature. Now that we're in the Cricut Craftroom, this is going to be your first page. I'm going to start with the mat. That's going to give you a little bit of information. This bottom gray tool here that you can see my arrows on with the cartridges popping up, this is actually going to be your dashboard or your drawer, whichever you prefer to call it. This is where you can get your images from the Cricut. Now this is the really cool feature about the Cricut Craftroom that I like. First of all, if you own a bunch of cartridges like I do, I have a ton of cartridges, more than I probably will ever use, but that's okay. Up here where it says go, that's where you're actually going to cut. You'll actually connect your computer to your Cricut, whichever Cricut that you do have. When you're ready to cut, you actually push the go button. If you have a Cricut cartridge that you're using and you want to use this program to design it on this mat, all you have to do is click go. It'll tell you to connect to your Cricut. Then you simply put your cartridge into your Cricut, and it recognizes your cartridge, and then it actually saves that cartridge to your login information. So next time you log in, you won't actually have to connect that cartridge. So you can actually use your cartridges that you own and don't have to purchase any new ones. Now this is the really neat feature that I like, because here locally where I'm at, our local Hobby Lobby and Joann's and Michael's and Hancock's and all the other craft stores that are around here don't carry Cricut products. My Walmart carries them here locally, but they don't carry too many cartridges that I don't already have. Now we do have a Big Lots that has just gone in, so I'm going to actually check them out this week. They say that they've got some really good cartridges in stock, so I'm going to try them next. But this feature on here actually gives you the opportunity to play around with a bunch of different cartridges, all the ones that are available. As you know, with the Cricut, whether you have the Cricut Imagine or the Cricut Cake or any of those, you actually can use the cartridges because they're interchangeable. So this lets you access a lot of different cartridges that are in their Cricut Craftroom program. You can design exactly what you want. You can click go, and then you can actually purchase those images. Then they're yours to use as much as you want. That's a really neat feature, because sometimes I've noticed on some cartridges, I use every single thing on the cartridge. Then there's some cartridges that I may only use several images for, so being able to purchase them like that will be really great. Now one thing I want to focus in on that I really love about this feature, that I love about this program, is right up here in the top is a width and height little button or little information tab here. It's right here. You got width and height. So when you actually insert an image into your cutting mat, then it gives you the width and the height of that image. So if you're trying to put it on, like I'm doing a washboard, or if you're trying to put it on a mug or if you're trying to put it on a picture frame, a piece of canvas, a scrapbook, anything like that, then you have the exact measurements, which is really comes in handy when you're trying to put vinyl or anything on something small. Then you've got the exact cutout measurements that you're going to need. Now over here on the left hand side, you've got shape properties. This lets you rotate, scale, slant, how many of those that you want. One tip that I will give you, it's got the autofill feature. If you're using any kind of letters or names, don't ever click autofill, because it's going to fill the entire page with, of course, the exact same letter that you've got. So unless you need a bunch of those letters, I wouldn't advise doing that until you're ready. A lot of the great things about this Cricut Craftroom by Provo Craft is that it is trial and error. You are going to click and learn and figure out, and there's not much error to it. You can click and design and make it your own, and unless you just decide that's not what you want, there really isn't much to complain about. Another feature that I really like, and I'm going to zoom in here for just a second, is down here at the bottom it says fonts. You can click that, and instead of having to go through and find every cartridge that has fonts, it narrows it down to you to just their font cartridges, what cartridges they have available, through Cricut. So I'm going to go actually back up here, and I'm going to bring up my dashboard down here at the bottom. I'm just going to simply double click on the overlay, and it's going to bring it up. You can see it loading there. We'll give it just a moment so it can finish loading. Now, the really neat thing about this overlay is, and let me see if I can get in here a little bit, it has a filter on it. So you can, of course, my basis is the Imagine, because that's what I use a lot of, but you can use the Cricut Imagine for your filter. You can do Cricut Everyday, Cricut Famous Friends, Cricut Light, Cricut Projects, Cricut Seasonals, any Cricut area that you want, it's going to narrow it down and filter out to those cartridges. So, like Famous Friends, you can do Pooh and Friends, which it's going to take a minute to load, but there you go. There you got Pooh and Friends, Disney Classics, Pixar. Like I said, you don't actually have to own these cartridges. You can design your whole mat and then purchase them, which I actually think is amazing, that we've come so far in technology this fast with Provo Craft that we've gone from having to go to the store to buy these cartridges to, being able to buy the cartridges and transfer them with our jukeboxes to our gypsies, and now you've got the Cricut Craftroom, which is just a great innovation. Now for the project that I'm going to be showing you a little bit about, we're actually going to use the fonts over here on the left-hand side. We have a large washboard that I'm going to be applying some vinyl letters to. So I'm going to pick out a font cartridge that I actually like. I haven't seen a lot of these, so I'm going to just kind of mix in a few and show you what they look like. The first one I'm going to click on is Baby Steps. And let's see here. Well, let me make sure I get it all right here. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to add new text box. Oh, I'm so sorry. Alright, so my text box, of course, the initials that I'm going to put are M. Well, if I can get it there. You'll add the new text box. In that text field, you're going to write your text. So the first one I'm going to have is an M. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one because that's the first one that I need because it's going to be smaller. And there's Baby Steps right there. That's the Baby Steps font cartridge. Sliding here at the bottom. You'll learn your tools as you get through to it. I'm going to expand mine, make it pretty big. Now here's where I said the height and width comes in handy. Right up here at the top, it shows that the height and the width has been changed to 4.986 for the width and 3.403 on the height. So that really comes in handy when you're talking about getting exact measurements and making sure that it's going to be what you want. Now Baby Steps is a little bit too cursive for me, so I'm actually going to right click and push delete because I don't actually need Baby Steps. That's not really the font I'm looking at. So I'm going to go back over here to my fonts and really look, and I'm thinking something maybe like let's try card decals. That's always different. So I'm going to again put my capital M in and push done. I'm sorry, it's not working like I want it to. Apparently card decals is not working for what I'm wanting it to work for, so we're going to put my M in, and this is called Carousel, and this goes right along with the theme that we're using for. The wash bucket is actually going to be a circus theme for a party, so we've got the M, and I'm going to add another text box, and we're going to put the big capital T for the last name. And I'm going to go ahead and expand that one and make it larger. Now I'm going to zoom out up here at the top. Of course, this is your toolbar right across here. It's going to have all your different properties that you can do. So I'm actually going to zoom out so I can see my full mat. Right here, you're viewing my entire mat. This is a 12 by 12 Cricut Imagine cutting mat. Depending on what machine you're using, your mat will change with size. So that's definitely a good feature. So I'm actually going to make my M, and I'm going to make my T a little bit bigger. Like I said, I'm cutting on vinyl, so they don't actually have to be in order. Right here I've got my M and my T, and I've got one more text box I'm going to add. And we're going to add a capital E. There it is showing up. Now I'm going to move my capital E down here. I'm going to click on my M and look up there in that width and height button. And it's 4.1 by 3.44. So to make them pretty even, I've got to check again. 4.1 by 3.44. Now, every one of these is going to differ, and I'm going to be very, very honest with you. They're going to differ because your letters are different. You know, an S and a D and a G and an H, they're all A's and B's. Every letter has a different attribute to it that's going to make it either wider or larger. So my E is actually not going to be the exact same size. Here I'm turning it. That was actually an accident, but that shows you can turn it. Now I'm going to put it back like I want it, and I'm actually going to make this a little bit smaller and pull my E out just a little bit more. Make it just a little bit shorter. There we go. Now, to me, that's in context with what I'm wanting. So that's exactly how I want my font and my items to look. So there's my font, and of course I use the side tab of fonts. So then I'm going to go to the next thing that this is available. Now, for vinyl, I'm not going to need colors and patterns, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how it works because it's really, really neat. Over here on the side, you've got your pattern gallery, and you can click there and go to different patterns that are available. We'll try Ancestry. Oh, we got to click on my letter. And then looky there, it puts the pattern into my M. And then we're going to go to E and put the next one. So that is a really neat feature. It gives you exactly what you want. Now this is, again, for the Imagine. Print it out, prints with your ink. It's a really neat feature that this has. You can go ahead and set it up with exactly what you're wanting. Now granted, again, I won't need any color for this one because it is vinyl. So I'm going to take those features off. Now up here at the top it says patterns and then colors. This is the same thing as the patterns. You can color your stuff. You can make each one a solid red, a solid pink, green, gray. There's a full color wheel right here to choose from. So that's very neat for when you're wanting to print. But again, we're just using vinyl. So I'm not actually going to need to print any color on this. So I'm going to take all these features off. And then you have options down here at the bottom. Options are your default machine you can change. You can change your mat size. So, of course, I'm on the Cricut Imagine, so the Cricut Imagine takes a 12 by 12. Now, if you're on the personal cutter, of course, it's a 6 by 12. Now, you saw the mat change, and, of course, my letters will not fit on a 6 by 12 mat. So I'm going to go back to my Imagine, and there I am, and I am ready to go. So I'm actually going to save this up at the top. Now, if I was connected to my machine at this point, we would actually go up right up here to push go. I'm going to go ahead and push it because we are ready to cut. Hope it'll let me. There we go. Alright. Now, when you push go, of course, go is going to take you to the next screen, which is going to ask you to connect your laptop or your computer or whatever you're on to your Cricut. So you'll connect it to the Cricut, and then if you actually own the carousel cartridge that we're using this font on, then that's when you would actually insert that into the machine. It would relay it to your Cricut saying, oh, this person already owns this one, don't charge her. Then you would be able to go right ahead. Now, if you didn't own carousel, then you would actually have the option to purchase. So that's a really neat feature. One of the other things I like up at the top is it also gives you a link for tutorials, take you straight online to some tutorials, to shop if you want to shop for anything, save, new, and open. So I'm actually done with this one until I can connect to the computer. So I'm going to go ahead and save, like I said, and push new and start a new project. And there we go. Now that's how Cricut Craftroom works. This is just a quick tutorial to kind of let you get introduced introduced to it. We're going to get a little more in detail, hopefully on the next video, about printing and cutting and some of the things and tips and tricks that I've learned to help you really make your project pop out with a Cricut. There's so many possibilities that Provo Crafts has created with the Cricut, not only with the cake and the mini and all the different products, but just alone with the Cricut, you can do wall transfers, you can do magnetic stuff, you can do vinyl, you can do greeting cards, you can do so many different things. And I think it's really important to learn the different features that are available to you to use with your Cricut. So I appreciate you guys watching our video, and watch for the next one, and we'll see you then.